welcome you all back to the last segment of this one day online national conference on inclusivity in law, multidisciplinary perspective, organized by SVKM's Praveen Gandhi College of Law, the valedictory ceremony. So, it is with special excitement that I am pleased to welcome Dr. Vasundhara Mohan as our valedictorian today. Dr. Vasundhara Mohan has done her MA degree in history from Mansa Gangotri, Mysore University. She has acquired her PhD for her work on the Muslims of Sri Lanka from the Department of Political Science, Rajasthan University, Jaipur. She has also worked as the lecturer at the Center of Soviet Studies, Mumbai University. From June 2014, she has been program director at Institute of Indian Culture, Mumbai. She has also worked at ICSSR referee for publication grants at the UGC examiner for setting of an examination of NET papers. She has also written and published a number of books, namely Identity Crisis of Sri Lankan Muslims, Soviet Foreign Policy in South Asia, a case study of Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, and many more. Ma'am has also completed a number of projects, namely Muslims of Sri Lanka, supported by the UGC, Electoral Participation of Muslims Women in India, a comparative perspective of women of Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka, and the list goes on. She has widely traveled in Sri Lanka, USA, UK, Soviet Union, Thailand, and many more countries for participation and presentation of research papers. Ma'am's research experience includes various research articles in foreign journals as well as Indian journals and their edited volumes and presented a number of papers at national and international seminars. Ma'am has also worked internationally and has organized over 100 workshops for youth and women on peace and conflict resolution, empowerment of women, besides acting as a resource person in a number of workshops and national and international seminars while working in the Mumbai University and for Study of Society and Secularism, Mumbai. She also organized a two-day national seminar on nation building in South Asia in New Delhi, supported by ICSSR and ICHR. She has acted as a resource person in workshops on research methodology for teachers and doctoral study students organized by the VPM Center for International Studies, Mumbai, and by Praveen Gandhi College of Law, Mumbai. It is an honor to have such an experienced person as our valedictorian for our conference. We are sure that the participant has a lot to learn from you, ma'am. I now invite ma'am to address the gathering.
Thank you, Shreyas, for giving such glorious words. I do not know, how much I deserve, but well, I'm talking to the last students, and to Praveen Gandhi, I have a special corner because many occasions I have been either a speaker or a coordinator with a seminar or addressing the students. Well, with these few words, I should congratulate the organizers of this seminar for taking up so much trouble to make and create awareness about the contemporary issues in the nation at a larger sense and state in the smaller sense. Well, with these few words, of course, since morning I didn't have the time to listen to everybody, and I do not know whether there will be some things of points which would be repeated in my talk today, and I won't take much time as it is a valedictory one. Well, coming to the title, equality, equity, and inclusivity. Inclusivity and equality is the current and the contemporary and the most important topics of today's discussion. When I say equality and inclusivity, the most important because the marginalized sections have been ignored. Here, marginalized section, I mean not only the rural background people or the backward class people, but I take gender per se. Gender has been really marginalized from various aspects and angles of life in our society. Well, if you go back to the historical days, in fact, the Hindu mythology has a lot of powerful lady and women gods who are brought home and worshipped, but the same women in the society do not command the respect that she deserves. This is one of the fundamental problems that exist and is the root cause for our gender, I will say the inequality in the society. When I say inequality, there are so many, the various stratas at different levels. Number one, from birth, inequality and disparity has been created by the family members. Even today, the Hindus or the Indians consider the male as the successor to the family and not the women. Well, in education, a parent could spend more to the son, not to the daughter. And in this respect, the family is the first step towards disparity. And at the time of marriage, again the girl is told to obey to the husband and look after the in-laws and not exhibiting her, equality status. So this is how the historically it is continuing. What is the reason? I trace this reason for patriarchy. Number one, Hindu society, in the majority cases, it is a patriarchal society because of late till the resolution, the law by the court that a woman or a girl child also gets the equal share in the property, she was considered as a burden. So it was the patriarchal society, so the entire, the property, the rights, everything would go to the son. But now with education and the government taking a notice of this and creating equality, I think probably we may find slowly the equal status to women also. Second thing, the disparity exists in the law. The law has been made, and in fact, I'll go back even to Mahatma Gandhi days, where when Gandhi was fighting, he said, what type of democracy I'm going to give it to my country when a woman is not safe alone to walk in the streets. This is his main worry was. And in the same fashion, there were many historical and mythological, philosophical leaders who fought for the women's rights, women's education, and remarriage of widows, and then education of women. We have a number of social reformers who were, fighting for it since long time. But of late, I think the consciousness and the educated awareness, and then even the parents have started feeling that the girls are more better than boys in managing things, in taking education, and in delivering responsibility. With these changes, you can, notice some of the changes, but it is not very, very visible to the naked eye. Third point I would like to bring is the disparity, the inequality, and the inexclusivity is not common to India alone. In fact, the European countries, which is very well advanced and far more modernized, also faces the same problem. Well, this I support by my argument telling that UN, the United Nations organization, has made it a main, crux of the problem is to create the equality among genders and remove disparity as far as the women is concerned. For this, there are various now reform that has been carried out, and I would come back to the Indian Constitution, which has made special provisions for the women's empowerment and inequality, to removal of inequality and equal status to the girl child. More so, for the last decade or so, especially under Narendra Modi government, we see more and more and more of women empowerment. Why do I say so? The first time a defense personnel, the parade is led by a woman. This is really, it was never heard of. And today you have a naval admiral. Today you have an air force at the top. And then army also, commando chief is again a woman. And these things show that women is not lagging behind. Given a chance, she would definitely try to prove more better than men, I would say. Thirdly, the Constitution of India in the preamble itself has made a lot of provisions that there should not be disparity, there should be equal status, either no basis of creed, caste, or religion or sex. But then where do we fail? We fail because it is not implemented properly. The government has given sufficient importance to the Constitution, and by making in the Constitution the provisions for equality and equal status to gender, but the inclusivity is a practical work of not only the government but also of the citizens. Here I would say inclusivity is lacking because of our own weaknesses. Our society still do not fight for inclusivity of women in the various cadres. For example, sufficient reservation is not being made for women. Although Women Development Council have been created by government, we do not see that justice has been delivered by this commission to at various levels to various women. And then coming to the employment, really I would say it's as per the UN statistics, it is 52% of the labor population is women. If so, if 50% of the population is women and 52% is the workforce, that means where are they? They are not in the high level positions. They are in the rural labor. Even in the labor, they are paid discriminatory wages. When I say discriminatory, it is for a man, the wages is different. For a woman, wages are different. So thereby, again, you are creating inequality in the wage structure. Thirdly, when you come to the employment, oh, you cannot occupy this high position because you are a married woman. You will have children, you have family. So how do you deliver goods if you occupy this senior position? These are some of the talk that has been told by some of the heads to the women workers. With the result, there is again inequality. Again, men doubts her capacity. But in order to compensate her power, I would quote 2, 3 the CEOs who are the women, and I mean they are doing exceedingly well. That is a Nui of Coca-Cola, and then recently Chief Justice also is to Delhi Supreme Court. She has been appointed. That is again another thing. But further, I would like to say that discriminatory process, especially in the law. In the law, what can law do? The law, the justice, or the body of legal body, what it should do is it should have more and more members in its committee, and then more judges, female judges, and who should understand the problems, who should understand how a women criminal is treated in the jails. It is really very alarming. If a man goes to jail, it's not that dangerous as a woman goes to jail. She has been harassed. She has been harassed for sex. She has been ill-treated. And we have seen so many, write-ups in the papers where the jail authorities have, really misbehaved with her. That is why, in my opinion, the legal force should be really very sincere, and in strictly it should implement all the legal laws that are enacted by the government. Thirdly, my advice is the more and more government organizations should act with NGOs. When I say NGOs, it's not possible for the government to attend to each and every district, every village to solve its problems. Therefore, we have to take NGOs into consideration and take their help and work with them so that the local problems are well understood by the local people. So with this also, we can create some equality among the gender and then inclusivity in the way of work. Third thing is, we have to have more and more of, I would say, the groups of people, youngsters, who would like to volunteer themselves to do the social work. When you have this type of groups, time and again they can keep a watch and they can create awareness among women, especially the rural women, so as to how they should fight for their rights, and any harassment takes place, whom they should go and contact. And although police force is there, but it is very difficult for the rural women to go and approach the police. As we all know that many times they don't even register the FIRs. So that is how the legally to empower a woman, it's very difficult. Lastly, of late we have been seeing 30% reservation, 33% reservation. Yes, it is good. Women representation and participation in legal reform also is in the most urgent need, but the Legislative Assembly and the rural, panchayat system have been giving them sufficient share. This is one, a good indicator that women is slightly marching ahead, and especially we see in the Narendra Modi's the parliament that majority of the women are really taking their empowerment and working well for the sake of society and women. But although it is still, I would say, it is not sufficient. And as far as criminal justice is concerned, reforms have to take place sincerely and then in a more sincere way and in an honest way. With these few words, I don't want to detain you since morning. You people have been busy, and I once again congratulate all the organizers and their young members who have taken so much trouble and power from the strength to do this seminar is not an easy job and online. And thank you very much. And thanks for extending me the invitation to share some of my views with your meeting. Thank you.